Are you looking for guidance and wisdom to navigate life's challenges? Look no further than the Bhagavad Gita, an ancient Indian text that offers timeless insights on living a fulfilling life. Join me as we explore 7 powerful teachings from the Gita that can transform the way you approach relationships, work, and personal growth. Get ready to discover the wisdom of the ages and uncover the secrets to living a more purposeful and fulfilling life. Hi, and welcome to our video on 7 things the Bhagavad Gita teaches us about life. The Bhagavad Gita is a sacred text of Hinduism, and it contains many valuable lessons on how to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. In this video, we will explore some of the most important teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and how they can apply to our lives today. The first teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is dharma. Dharma is a concept in Hinduism and other Indian religions that refers to the duties and obligations that individuals have based on their station in life and the role they play in society. The Bhagavad Gita stresses the importance of fulfilling one's dharma as a means of achieving spiritual growth and liberation. The character of Arjuna, for example, faces a dilemma in the beginning of the text, where he is reluctant to fight in a battle against his own kin. Lord Krishna then reminds Arjuna of his dharma as a warrior and prince, and urges him to fulfill his duty of fighting for a just cause. This example highlights the idea that each person has a specific dharma that they must fulfill in their lives, regardless of their personal desires or preferences. The Bhagavad Gita also emphasizes the importance of performing one's duties without attachment to the results. This is known as nishkama karma, or selfless action. The text stresses that individuals should perform their duties without seeking personal gain or recognition. Instead, they should focus on the action itself and do it to the best of their abilities, leaving the results to the divine will. Lord Krishna also explains that the ultimate goal of dharma is to attain spiritual liberation or moksha. By fulfilling one's dharma, individuals can purify their minds and develop virtues such as self-discipline, compassion, and detachment, which are necessary for spiritual growth. Overall, the concept of dharma teaches us that we all have a unique role to play in society and must fulfill our responsibilities to the best of our abilities. By doing so, we can develop virtues, cultivate inner peace, and progress on the path towards spiritual growth and liberation. The second teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is karma. Karma is another important concept in the Bhagavad Gita, which refers to the law of cause and effect. According to the text, every action that an individual performs has a consequence, which may be positive or negative. The consequences of our actions determine our future circumstances and experiences. One of the most famous verses in the Bhagavad Gita is, "As you sow, so shall you reap," chapter 4, verse 31, which highlights the idea that the consequences of our actions are inevitable and inescapable. The text explains that individuals are bound by their own karma, which is the sum total of all their past actions. Lord Krishna explains that there are 3 types of karma. Sanchita karma, which is the accumulated karma from all our past actions. Prarabdha karma, which is the portion of Sanchita karma that is currently affecting us in our present life. And Kriyamana karma, which is the karma that we are currently creating through our actions. The Bhagavad Gita stresses the importance of performing actions that are righteous and in accordance with dharma, as these actions create positive karma and lead to spiritual growth. On the other hand, actions that are selfish, immoral, or harmful to others create negative karma and lead to suffering and spiritual regression. An example of the consequences of karma is seen in the story of King Janaka, who was a wise and virtuous ruler. Despite his wealth and power, he remained humble and devoted to his duties. Lord Krishna explains that Janaka's good karma from his past actions had created a favorable destiny for him in his present life, which allowed him to enjoy material success while also progressing spiritually. Another example is the story of the warrior Karna, who was known for his generosity and kindness. However, due to his past actions, Karna was destined to die in battle. Lord Krishna explains that Karna's negative karma from his past deeds had created an unfavorable destiny for him, which could not be avoided. Overall, the concept of karma teaches us that our actions have consequences, which determine our future circumstances and experiences. By performing righteous actions and avoiding negative ones, we can create positive karma and progress on the path towards spiritual growth and liberation. The third teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is jnana. Jnana is a Sanskrit term that refers to spiritual knowledge or wisdom. It is one of the paths of yoga that is emphasized in the Bhagavad Gita, and is described as the path of knowledge or discrimination. According to the text, jnana involves the pursuit of spiritual knowledge and the realization of the true nature of the self and the universe. This involves discerning the difference between the eternal and the temporary, the self and the non-self, and ultimately realizing the unity of all things. Lord Krishna emphasizes the importance of jnana in several verses of the Bhagavad Gita, such as chapter 4, verse 38, where he states, "In this world, there is nothing as purifying as jnana. One who has attained it is soon established in perfect peace." An example of the pursuit of jnana can be seen in the story of the warrior prince Arjuna, who is the protagonist of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna initially has doubts and confusion about his role in the battle of Kurukshetra, and seeks guidance from Lord Krishna. Krishna then teaches Arjuna about the nature of the self and the universe, and explains the path of jnana to him. Another example of jnana can be seen in the story of King Janaka, who was a wise and virtuous ruler. Despite his material success, Janaka remained humble and devoted to the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. He engaged in spiritual practices such as meditation and self-inquiry, and sought the guidance of wise sages and teachers. The Bhagavad Gita stresses that the pursuit of jnana is not just for renunciants or monks, but is a path that can be followed by anyone, regardless of their station in life. It emphasizes that spiritual knowledge is not just theoretical or intellectual, but must be realized through direct experience and practice. Overall, the path of jnana teaches us the importance of pursuing spiritual knowledge and realizing the true nature of the self and the universe. By engaging in practices such as meditation, self-inquiry, and seeking the guidance of wise teachers, we can progress on the path of jnana and attain spiritual liberation. The fourth teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is yoga. Yoga is a Sanskrit term that refers to a spiritual discipline or practice that is aimed at achieving union with the divine. It is one of the paths of yoga that is emphasized in the Bhagavad Gita, and is described as the path of action or selfless service. According to the text, yoga involves the practice of selfless action and detachment from the fruits of one's actions. It is the path of those who wish to act in the world without being attached to the outcomes of their actions. Lord Krishna emphasizes the importance of yoga in several verses of the Bhagavad Gita, such as chapter 2, verse 47, where he states, "Do your duty, O Arjuna, without attachment to the fruits of your actions." The Bhagavad Gita stresses that the practice of yoga is not just for renunciants or monks, but is a path that can be followed by anyone, regardless of their station in life. It emphasizes that the practice of yoga is not just about physical postures or exercises, but is a holistic path that involves the integration of the body, mind, and spirit. Overall, the path of yoga teaches us the importance of acting selflessly and detached from the fruits of our actions. By practicing selfless service, meditation, and detachment from material possessions, we can progress on the path of yoga and attain spiritual liberation. The fifth teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is bhakti. Bhakti is a Sanskrit term that refers to devotion or love for the divine. It is one of the paths of yoga that is emphasized in the Bhagavad Gita, and is described as the path of devotion or love. According to the text, bhakti involves the practice of devotion and love for the divine, without any expectation of reward or benefit. It is the path of those who wish to attain union with the divine through love and devotion. Lord Krishna emphasizes the importance of bhakti in several verses of the Bhagavad Gita, such as chapter 9, verse 34, where he states, "Fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, worship me, and offer your obeisance to me. Thus you will come to me, without doubt." An example of the practice of bhakti can be seen in the story of the gopis, who were the cowherd girls of Vrindavan. The gopis were deeply in love with Lord Krishna and would often engage in devotional practices such as singing, dancing, and offering prayers to him. Their love and devotion for Lord Krishna was so strong that they would forget everything else and become completely absorbed in his divine presence. Another example of bhakti can be seen in the story of Hanuman, who is a monkey god and a devotee of Lord Rama. Hanuman's love and devotion for Lord Rama was so strong that he would go to any lengths to serve him. He played a key role in the epic Ramayana, helping Lord Rama to defeat the demon king Ravana and rescue his wife Sita. The Bhagavad Gita stresses that the practice of bhakti is not just for the emotional or sentimental, but is a path that can be followed by anyone, regardless of their intellectual or social standing. It emphasizes that the practice of bhakti is not just about ritualistic worship or devotion, but is a heartfelt and sincere expression of love and devotion for the divine. Overall, the path of bhakti teaches us the importance of cultivating love and devotion for the divine. By engaging in devotional practices such as singing, dancing, and offering prayers, we can develop a deep and heartfelt connection with the divine, and attain spiritual liberation through love and devotion. The sixth teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is detachment. Detachment is a key concept in the Bhagavad Gita, and is seen as a necessary step on the path towards spiritual realization. It involves the ability to let go of one's attachment to material possessions, desires, and outcomes, and to remain focused on one's spiritual goals. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna emphasizes the importance of detachment in several verses, such as chapter 2, verse 48, where he states, "Perform your duty, equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure." Such evenness of mind is called yoga. Lord Krishna is often cited as a model of detachment in the Bhagavad Gita. He is a divine figure who is unattached to the material world and focused on his spiritual mission of helping Arjuna and others achieve spiritual realization. Despite his power and divine status, he remains humble and unattached, emphasizing the importance of focusing on spiritual goals rather than material desires. The Brahman and the lost cows. This story is found in the Mahabharata, of which the Bhagavad Gita is a part. In this story, a Brahman loses his cows and becomes distraught, as the cows are his livelihood. However, a wise sage teaches him to let go of his attachment to the cows and instead focus on his spiritual practice. The Brahman learns the importance of detachment and is able to cultivate a sense of inner peace. The woodcutter and the lost axe. This story is also found in the Mahabharata. In this story, a woodcutter becomes attached to his axe and is devastated when it falls into a river. However, a wise sage teaches him to let go of his attachment to the axe and instead focus on his inner peace. The woodcutter learns the importance of detachment and is able to cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment. The Bhagavad Gita stresses that detachment is not the same as indifference or apathy, but is a positive and proactive attitude towards life. It emphasizes the importance of performing one's duties without being attached to the outcome, and of remaining focused on one's spiritual goals. Overall, the concept of detachment in the Bhagavad Gita teaches us the importance of letting go of our attachment to material possessions and desires, and of remaining focused on our spiritual goals. By cultivating detachment, we can develop a sense of equanimity and inner peace, and can move towards spiritual realization and liberation. The seventh teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is action without attachment. Action without attachment is a central concept in the Bhagavad Gita, and it refers to the idea of performing actions without being attached to the results of those actions. The Gita teaches that we should do our duty and take action in the world, but we should not be attached to the outcomes of those actions. Instead, we should act selflessly and without ego, performing our actions as an offering to God or the universe. One example of action without attachment is found in chapter 3, where Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that he must perform his duty as a warrior, regardless of the outcome of the battle. Krishna says, "You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction." BG 3.27. This means that Arjuna must do his duty as a warrior, fighting with courage and skill, but he must not be attached to the outcome of the battle. Whether he wins or loses, he must remain detached and focused on his spiritual goals. Another example of action without attachment is found in chapter 5, where Lord Krishna teaches Arjuna about the importance of renunciation. Krishna says, "The wise, engaged in devotional service, take refuge in the Lord, and free themselves from the cycle of birth and death by renouncing the fruits of action in the material world." BG 5.2. This means that the wise person performs their actions without being attached to the results, knowing that their ultimate goal is spiritual liberation. They offer their actions as a service to God or the universe, without seeking personal gain or recognition. In chapter 12, Lord Krishna describes the characteristics of a devotee who has achieved action without attachment. He says, "He who is without hatred for any creature, who is friendly and compassionate, free from attachment and egoism, balanced in pleasure and pain, and forgiving, that devotee is dear to me." BG 12.13. This means that the devotee who has achieved action without attachment is free from ego, and acts with compassion and forgiveness towards all beings. They are balanced in pleasure and pain, and do not seek personal gain or recognition. These examples illustrate the importance of action without attachment in the Bhagavad Gita. By performing our actions without being attached to the outcomes, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and focus on our spiritual goals. We can offer our actions as a service to God or the universe, without seeking personal gain or recognition. Through action without attachment, we can move towards spiritual liberation and a deeper sense of inner peace. In conclusion, the Bhagavad Gita contains many valuable teachings that can help us live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. By understanding and practicing these teachings, we can cultivate inner peace, happiness, and spiritual growth. Remember, Dharma teaches us to fulfill our responsibilities and obligations. Karma reminds us of the consequences of our actions. Jnana encourages us to seek knowledge and wisdom. Yoga helps us connect with our true nature. Bhakti cultivates a sense of devotion and love. Detachment helps us find inner peace and happiness. And action without attachment teaches us to act without being attached to the outcome. By incorporating these teachings into our lives, we can lead a life that is more purposeful, peaceful, and fulfilling. Thank you for watching. We hope that you found this video informative and inspiring. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. Thank you, and have a great day.